The bullets. Aren't they cute? I learned most of what I know about bullets from John Carlton. And I'm going to share with you a model of a template of bullets. It's actually in your binders too, that you can use for just about any product. You plug in your information and it's like magic. It looks great. Basically, this is how you make bullets work really hard for you. One way is by using blind bullets. This is also a John Carlton technique. A blind bullet is giving a specific information followed by a tease. An example would be this root of the Pau de Arco tea will cure a headache. And then the bullet under it, learn how to get more energy. So you don't really giving any information away in the second bullet, but you do in the first. So you're getting the illusion that you're getting a lot of information, even though you're only giving about half as much as you think. So the person who's reading the bullets feels like they're like, wow, they're getting intrigued. Use formatting effectively, which we'll spend some time on. Again, we'll kind of do formatting toward the end more, but anytime you change the format of just plain text, like the plain typewriter stuff, that you either italics, bold, parentheses, caps, that you're making that phrase stand out. Parentheses, I said parentheses, didn't I? And the dot, 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 the ellipsis, that's one of my favorites. You're making those phrases stand out. So you want to pick the phrases you make stand out. You don't want to just do it by accident. Use parentheses, which is actually used to de-emphasize copy, but it really emphasizes it because it's a very subtle psychological thing when you're reading something and you see a parentheses. And like in here, my main thought is use the parentheses. And yet, the most important point is within the parentheses, which is kind of typical English, would be a throwaway thought. But you look at that because, for the same reason I think you would read the PS or the photo caption. It's benign, and it's now nobody's going to try to sell me in that. It's information that I don't have to pay attention to, so I'm curious. And it grabs people's attention. So you can use it effectively to de-emphasize the thought that you actually want to emphasize. Add a page number or a track number where information can be found if applicable. For instance, if you're selling an audio product or you're selling a workbook, tell them what page to go to, what track to go to find that specific information. Reader's Digest and that group did a really good job of doing this on, I think they're the ones who invented it actually. On the cover, they'll say the article, and then they'll say ... page 26. And a lot of magazines used to be afraid to do that because they thought, well, people will just go right to that page and then they won't buy the magazine. But they weren't afraid of doing it, and what it does is it makes it more tangible for you, especially online, because you can't flip through a magazine or a book online, but it makes it more tangible for the person, the buyer, the prospect, when they see that there's a real live page number or track number. And again, shocking statistics or a comparison to a competitor. Some information where you have to do a little digging, where they may not necessarily know about it. Bullets are a really great place to put those. I really recommend doing a lot of research as a former journalist. Just go, and it's so easy now with the internet. You can go online and find out news and find out information, and you can actually throw it into your sales letters. I'm going to give you a website that's really cool. Some of you may know about this already. It's called Google Answers. Do you know about that? It is, what's the address? It's on Google. It's http://google.answers.com is what I believe it is, but if not, answers.google.com. Ah, thank you. All right. So it's answers.google.com. And what it is a collection of questions that people have asked that people bid on to get this group of researchers from Google to go do research. So you can say, I'll give you $5 and you find who sells llamas to copywriters or something like that. And they'll go and they'll find out, maybe not for $5. The more expensive your bid is, the more you're going to find out. So there is a whole collection of all these bizarre and useful, all kinds of questions and answers. Now, you don't have to pay to read those answers. You can read them for free. Or you can hire somebody to do that research for you, which is really cheap. So you can use it on either aspect. Oh, cat. Cool. Excuse me one second.
Okay, I've wanted to use statistics before, and the people who provide really great statistics in my field would be my competitors. They aren't really direct competitors because they're big, huge agencies that'll charge like $250,000 minimum per year.
Right.
But they're still direct competitors, but those would probably be the only people who would actually get the research done in my field. So should I still use those? Because at least it could be from, a well-known agency at least, and again, the statistics better than nothing.
That's a great question. Gosh, that's a tough one too, actually, because on the one hand, you don't want to give publicity to the other group, but on the other hand, if they're that big,
they're so expensive. Very few people would be able to use them anyway.
Right.
But I didn't want to really plug a competitor, so I don't know.
That's a dilemma. I agree with you. Sorry, I don't have a perfect answer. Does anyone have feedback around that? Whether you would choose to
Can your clients pay
plug?
$250,000?
No. So
probably would prefer not to.
But they can.
And
Well,
they have-
put it this way, you're going to lose clients if you promote
The
a
few that would
competitor.
hire me would probably hire me because I'm a trainer and I wouldn't do the work for them. So I think it would be okay.
there you go. Yay. Thank you, Marcus. Awesome. All right, so we're going to write some bullets. Am I writing the template? Okay. Before we get to the writing, the template is in your binders, in the bullets section, page 48. And this is probably small for the camera, but I'm going to read it out loud. One mistake blank makes is, like one mistake entrepreneurs make, one mistake coaches make, one mistake copywriters make. What a mistake is. Mistake is the power word there. People don't want to make mistakes, and it connects with them. Why beginners are able to compete with experts using blank. So this comes back to the whole, it's easy, it's effortless, it's easy. Whether you're just starting or whether you've been doing it for a long time, if you use blank, it's going to be easy for you. Why beginners are able to compete with experts using blank. How one small change can do blank. So one small thing will give you the kind of change, the solution that you're looking for. Again, it goes back to being easy, back to being effortless. How to avoid the problems of blank. Nobody wants problems. We want things, again, to be effortless. It's funny how everything trickles down to pretty much being easy, effortless, fast, make money. No matter how you pretty it up, we all want those kinds of things, and that's what resonates with people. Exactly where to use each of blank steps to achieve blank. It goes back to lists. If you have a step-by-step system, that's cool. People like that. How many steps are there? If you break it down for people, it's so much easier to absorb, and they're going to like that. How to, classic. Why blank will cause your competitors to drop off the planet. You will always get a repeatable result with blank. I mean, that's one of the big benefits of this workshop is that you have a replicatable, repeatable result. So people don't want to buy something once and never be able to use it again unless it's food. But you want a repeatable result. The truth behind blank, that's just curiosity provoking, and it's effective. Instantly diagnose mistakes with blank so you can actually work a benefit statement into that. You can work a benefit statement into any of these bullets. And how to improve blank no matter how difficult it was for you before. So even if it was very difficult, it's going to be effortless, it's going to be easy for you. So you don't have to use all of these in your product, in your bullets. It's just a template, it's a starting off mark to go from. But if you can start filling them in, you'll see, you'll get other ideas about what other kinds of bullets. There are ways to make the bullets fancier. There's the formatting, there's the parentheses, there's making them, there's lots of different tricks, and I'm going to show you those once we get them written. So let's take a few minutes and start just plugging in your information and writing some bullets and going beyond that a little and expanding. So any questions? Is it okay? 1 second. Dun, dun, dun.
I've had clients ask me a question, so other people might have this.
Great.
Is about how parallel should your bullets be? Should they be how, why? Can you have a sentence in between the how to? And if you have one so that, do you have to have all so that's?
Oh, that is a great question. And right now, I will address that, but when we're writing them, I just want to not edit. I just want to throw it all out there. But once you do start molding them, you do want to make them a little consistent. I can teach you some things about punctuation, semicolons, that kind of stuff. But the basic rule of thumb is if you're going to start a list of bullets, then you want the leading sentence above it to make sense for each bullet. So if you have a leading sentence, let's say you will learn blank, you will learn the one mistake entrepreneurs make, so that you will learn why beginners are able to compete. You will learn how one small change. So you will learn needs to make sense independently for each of those bullets, or whatever little phrase that you use to lead it in. So it's consistent, because they're kind of reading aloud in their mind, and if it doesn't make sense, it sounds clunky, then it's uncomfortable to read and they're not going to stick around. So that was a good question. But we are going to just blast through for like about 15 minutes. Yeah, let's do 15 minutes and write your bullets. Sound good?